In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a talking head setup just like this to make your videos look professional and help you increase your retention in your videos, as well as build up more trust with your audience. And at the end of the day, get more clients. My name's Kurtis Hawkins and I'm a realtor with Real Broker. I've made my career with video marketing and have been named one of the top producers at my previous brokerage. I'm an elite agent at Real Broker, and my team, the Real Estate One team, was just named the top small team in all of Canada. And now I've started this channel to help other agents get more clients using social media. So if any of that is of interest to you, be sure to hit that subscribe button and let's get into it. Now, don't worry, I'm gonna keep this really basic and budget friendly so that anyone can get started, because really, it doesn't have to be that complicated. The setup that I have here is the setup that I use for most of my main real estate channel. It's literally at my desk. It doesn't take up a lot of room. And if you have a small space, this is gonna work for you. And the best part about this is that it's really easy to set up, which I've done on purpose. And the reason I like to have a setup that's super easy and simple is that it really reduces the amount of friction that it takes for me to film a video. Getting on camera is hard enough. Sometimes there's even times that I actually don't want to jump in front of the camera. So I just want to make it super simple for me. So when I get a new idea for a video, all I have to do is turn on a few lights, set up the camera, hit record, and I'm ready to go. By the way, I'm going to link all of the different products that I talk about in this video and some variations of the same products down below in the description so that you can check them out if you want to get started. So the first thing, and one of the most important things to go over, is audio. Honestly, you're more likely to get away with an ugly setup if your audio is good. So the first thing you're going to need to do is get some sort of microphone. Now, if you've seen any of my other videos where we're talking about filming home tours, I did recommend the DJI mics. Like, for example, this is the DJI Mic 2. And in this case, if you're already invested and you're doing those home tours and you already have a DJI mic or something like this that plugs into your phone, this is going to be more than enough. And if you're already investing in that, like I said, just pick up one of these and you can use it for a talking head just like this. You don't need to use a microphone like this in order to get good audio. Or if you're already on the fence about buying one of these for home tours, well, take this as a sign is that you're going to be able to use it for home tours and your talking head setups just like this. Now, the DJI Mic 2 is pretty expensive. It's about $350 for this setup right here. And you can use it with another program, not just your phone. But there are some cheaper options like the DJI Mic Mini that's only about $100, or you can go to Amazon and find even cheaper options that's probably less than $100, some of which will actually be good. But honestly, for $100, just go with DJI. It's probably the most popular brand and you're not going to be disappointed. Now, the next thing that we're going to need to do is get a solid lighting setup, because the lights inside your home, like, you know, these pot lights just above my head, they're not going to look very good on camera. Now, when we're talking about lighting, there's actually two different ways to go about this. And the first of which is really cheap and dirty, and that's basically just getting in front of a window. So right behind me here is actually a window. So if I had the camera here and I'm facing the window, there's gonna be a lot of soft light pouring in, you know, as long as it's not direct light, and it's gonna light me up very nice and it's gonna look pretty professional. However, what you're gonna wanna do is make sure that these lights off above you are turned off, because if you're mixing this outdoor light, which is actually more of a blue light coming in with these orange lights, it's gonna throw everything off and it's not gonna look very professional. Now, like I mentioned, this is the ultra cheap way of doing it, but lighting outside can change. Maybe it's cloudy, maybe the light just is way too bright, or if you're in Alberta like me, and you're filming in the winter, and the sun goes down at like 4 p.m., so you're not gonna get at that outdoor light anymore. So maybe you want something a little bit more convenient. Now, before I move on, I've had so many people say that they just bought a new studio light and it's one of those ring lights. And let me just say now that in my opinion, a ring light is probably better than having nothing at all, but it's not going to give you those results you're looking for. Ring lights are very cheap and very inexpensive, but it's going to give you this weird circle look right in the middle of your eyes. And honestly, they're kind of made more for beauty influencers than it is for a professional setup like this. And those beauty influencers usually need a lot of light on their face in order to do makeup and really show what they're doing. And we really don't need that. We just need a big soft light to make us look good and light us up professionally. And that's where this light actually comes in. So this is called what's called a Godox SL60W. I bought this about 5 years ago for about $200, and I've literally never changed my light. It's been a staple. It works great. It's not very expensive, and it looks amazing. Now, the reason why you need a soft box is to soften the light. First of all, you don't want to look directly in this light. It's going to be super bright and it's going to be very distracting. But on camera, a soft light, just like that window light, is going to make your complexion look a lot cleaner. It's going to get rid of those dark circles under your eyes, and it's just going to make you look a lot more professional. The other thing that you're going to need to get with it is a softbox, and this is just like a newer softbox. I think they're about $100. Again, I'll link this all in the description down below. And of course, you're going to need some sort of tripod or a C-stand, like something like this. I got wheels on this one, so I can just, roll it around easily. And I can tuck it away when I'm not using it, but this is the light that I like to use, and I'll put this and some other variations down in the description below. But when you have a setup like this, you're gonna wanna shut off all the lights and the windows in your home, as well as those big lights up above, just to not mix the light, or else it's not gonna look very good. Now, before I get to the final piece, which is which camera you should be using, I want to show you a few different ways to set this up where you can put everything, so just hang in there. I just want to show you a little bit of this setup so you can see how I set this up in my office and what might work good for you as well. So if I turn this camera around, you can see over here I have my camera, and this is where I sit down below with the light. So how you want to set up the light is, let me go around here. So with your camera here facing me straight on, I always like to put the light or the softbox at about a 45-degree angle like this. And putting the light over at the 45, if you look into like cinematics and you learn a little bit about that, 45 is just, kind of a good angle so that you get a little bit of shadow on your face, but not too much. It still looks really flattering. But just remember, if the camera's in front of you like this, you want to put the light about 45 degrees over to the left of you. You can put it in front. I always prefer to put it off to the side, but you can do whatever you think looks best as well. So now the other thing to keep in mind is you're going to want some depth behind you. So let me go back around here, and I'm going to show you that, I usually sit probably right about here. And then when I'm framed up in camera, you can see that there's this little, fake plant over here. I have a little bit of decorations. These are actually just, a tripod with some more greenery. It's not just a completely white wall. And, when I sit down like this camera's angle is pretty wide, so you're gonna see a lot of white, but on camera, like you saw earlier, it's a little bit more cropped in and it looks pretty good back here. What you don't wanna do is put your back directly against the wall and have no depth, because if it's just you and a white wall behind you, looks pretty boring, and it definitely does not look very professional. So what you want to do is have a little bit of depth and just kind of design a good background behind you that, maybe shows a little bit of personality. So I like to film, I like to do videos, which is why I have my tripods back here, my gimbals back here, and little sneakily, I have some of the awards that I've won, at other brokerages and at my current brokerage. And then on this side over here, all I have is, just a little plant just to, make it a little bit more interesting and just have a good setup. So typically what I like to do is film at a 45-degree angle, or like put myself in an angle so you can see both of these walls so it's not flat. And again, just add a little bit of depth. So for a camera, the easiest, the simplest, and maybe not the cheapest option to use is probably your cell phone. Now, it's probably the most expensive thing that we've talked about so far, which is why it might not be the least expensive. But the good news is that you probably already own a cell phone. I mean, you are a realtor after all. I would definitely hope you already have a cell phone, and hopefully it's one with a camera on it. So I think the bet is pretty safe there. Now, especially if you have that good mic and a good setup, these cameras are gonna be so good that most people aren't gonna be able to tell. So you have a mic, a camera, and a light. Well, what else do you need? Honestly, nothing. That's probably good enough just to get started. So now that I've told you everything you need, let's talk about my desk setup that I mentioned earlier. Let's talk about my camera. So over here, I have the Sony a7S III, but by no means do you need to buy this camera. Honestly, a cell phone, as you can see here, if you have a good lighting setup, you have a good mic and some good audio, this is gonna look more than professional. I think this looks pretty good just off of my cell phone. However, just to make it a little bit simpler for me, I do use this A7S with this teleprompter here. This is actually the Elgato teleprompter that I'll link down below. And how this works is when I type out my script, I can put it over here on this screen, and then it shows back on the teleprompter. And this helps me just stay on track and, you know, makes it super easy for me to film videos, and it really decreases the time that it takes me to actually get what I'm trying to say out of my mouth onto camera. Otherwise, like before I was doing this, it used to take me about probably an hour to an hour and a half just to film a simple 10-minute video, you know, looking at a script, then looking at the camera. Whereas now that I can just have this script right in front of me while I'm talking has totally been a game changer. And of course, to look professional, of course, just please make sure that your camera is eye level. There's some little subtle things that are pretty important when it comes to filming videos. And if this camera is kind of up here and looking down on you, it's not going to give you that, you know, level of authority. It's going to look like someone's looking down on you. You don't usually listen to people that you look down on, am I right? It's a little subtle thing that you might not think of, but I promise you a level camera is going to look really professional. And I'm not just talking level this way, I'm talking level this way. A crooked camera definitely does not look professional. And if you want to know more about the settings that I'm using, especially just for a cell phone, I have a whole video dedicated to that on this channel as well. Now, as you can see, when we have our setup in place, this is the exact same setup that I just showed you guys. I have my light on, I have my camera here, I have a good looking background, and boom, we're ready to go. We have a fantastic setup for you to start filming videos. So thank you guys so much for tuning in this video, and I'll be coming out with some more follow-up videos about this on how we can further enhance our video marketing and get better on camera. So if you guys have any questions at all, please leave them down in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe if you want to upgrade your real estate content, and we'll see you guys in the next video.